He's Stonebraker and he does stuff, yeah. Feel the hum of the wheels out there. Not perfect, but he dares to dream. Hit that subscribe, make that bell scream.
What's up, YouTube? Stonebraker does stuff. There it is, my new bike. This is the replacement for the Hynox. This is the Heybike Ranger 3.0 Pro. Very similar to a bike I had last year, the Heybike Ranger S. You can see right there, this is a folding e-bike. Beautiful green color, nice shape, super comfortable e-bike. Right now I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about the tires on this bike. So if you take a look, these are 20 by 4 inch tires. They are Kenda branded, so Kenda branded tires. These tires also have 180 millimeter rotors. They do not have the mag wheels, which sucks, but the spokes are okay. There you see the rotors. Here we're going to show you the headlight, big and bright, turn signal there, turn signal there. Very nice to see at night. Big and beefy, just how I like my e-bike lights. Front fork suspension, you can see the lockout right there. You can open it up, you can drop it, and then we got the preload right there. So very customizable e-bike. Set it to how you want it, ride the bike, enjoy it. It's got the folding front handlebar, giraffe style. You're gonna pop that red, press it down. Of course, it's gonna fold over like a standard giraffe style stem e-bike. And hydraulic disc brakes. I've only got about 12 miles on the bike so far, but they seem to work great. No noise. Can't be any happier than with these hydraulic disc brakes on the Heybike Ranger 3.0. And let's see what I show next here. Just kind of showing you guys the paint job. This green is immaculate. Some of the videos didn't make it look like it was very sparkly like the Ranger, but just look at the little sparkles. Kind of reminds me of like a fishing lure, kind of glittery, really pops in the sun. Just a really good color, good looking bike. There you see some of the stickers. Dual suspension, you're gonna see the air spring in the back. I have adjusted a little bit. I need to put the cap back on there. I need to let a little bit more air out. But yeah, dual suspension. And then you see right there, you've got a 750 watt motor that peaks at 1200 watts, that I do believe. You see it's got a nice rear rack, nice and sturdy. I can't remember the weight it can hold, but it can definitely hold some solid weight. And here we're going to show you a little bit. I've, of course, changed some things. I put my favorite pedals, the Ginwage pedals. They're nice and thin. They got the little grips that grip onto the soles of your shoes, basically stopping you from slipping your feet. Highly recommend. It's like 20 bucks. And of course, this is a torque sensor e-bike. So right there, we're showing you the torque sensor. Seems to be a pretty good torque sensor, no complaints about that. And now we're going to just show you guys a little bit of the back of the bike. There you see the Kenda Crusade tires with the plastic fenders. Really don't have an opinion on the fenders. They do their job. I could really care less. Backlight, Heybike branded everywhere. You've got the turn signals on the back as well, the left and the right. Very easy to see at night. Nice and simple. And here we're showing you the coloring again, just a nice fancy color, really pops in the sunshine, the sparkles. The other videos I've watched on this bike don't do justice to the color. I've changed the seat out to the Cloud 9, that's a given. I do that on all my bikes. There you see the 8-gear cassette with the Shimano Altus derailleur with the derailleur protector. Can never go wrong with a nice derailleur protector, and this bike has it. And here we're going to go to the chainring. I wish it was a dual-sided. It's only single, but this bike is just one-sided chainring. You do not get both sides. That's okay, though. I didn't have any issues. I've not had any issues riding the bike so far, but I'd like to see a dual chainring there. I like the branding at the bottom left there, the Ranger 3.0 and then the Pro in the red. And then of course we got one of my favorite qualities of bikes like these is the top mounting battery. The battery is a 15 amp hour 48 volt battery. I definitely prefer the top as opposed to the bottom right there. And you can see the UL certification sticker. They pay a lot of money for that, so it's nice that they put it plain and simple. Then we're going over some of the things that I've always added. I bought this Kimimoto drink holder. I think it's perfect for these 20x4 giraffe stem style bikes. It's got the gator grips that grip on. It's not going to drop off. You're going to hit bumps. That thing's going to stay right where you want, so highly recommend it. And then the Rhino Walk rear or front handlebar bag. I've bought these 7 or 8 times in a row. I'll continue to buy them. I've got my power bank inside of it, complete with all the cables to charge my phone. So yeah, this is it, guys. This is very similar to the Heybike Ranger S. It does have different handle grips here. You can see I'm not a big fan of these. I've actually ordered a replacement, but I'll probably just keep these on for now. I rode it a little bit and I did get a little bit more used to it. So yeah, it is what it is. I wish I had the ones that had the palm holder, but that's okay. And then right here, you're gonna see the turn signal, left, and then of course right, and then in the middle, just none, and then the horn at the bottom. All right, so now we're at the cockpit. So this is the control panel here with the screen. This comes with the NFC cards. So basically what that means is to power on the bike, you have a couple different options. So you're gonna see the cards in my left hand right there. There's a blue one and a red one with the QR code. So what you do here is you're gonna power on the bike. In just a few moments here, I'm gonna hit that button. Thank you so much, Adam. Hold that button, big boy. You're gonna get the Heybike logo. Now there's 2 ways to enter this. You can leave it at 0000 and hit enter and bypass it, or you can just take your card like I did. So those cards are gonna allow you to turn the bike on without needing any keys. It's a nice security feature, but I mean, obviously if you're not gonna do that, you wanna change the code to something other than 000. But here we're just going over the bike a little bit. You can see I'm at 11 miles on the ODO at the bottom right. Right now, the bike is not on any pedal assist, so if you hit up, it's going to take you into echo mode, which technically is pedal assist 1 if you want to call it that. Nice green color. So let's go ahead and go to the next pedal assist level, which technically is 2. They call it tour mode. So tour mode, trail mode is 3. And then we're going to hit up again. So sport, which is basically pedal assist 4. And then, you know, if you're feeling really wild and you want to be a wild hog, hit up one more time. It's going to turn red and you're going to see turbo. So this basically turbo is pedal assist 5. And then if you look at the top right where it says 48.7, that is the voltage. So you can actually change that from voltage to percentage. I prefer voltage. It just gives me a better understanding of where I stand battery wise. So that's pretty cool. Very simple screen. It is easy to read. During the ride, you guys with the sun and stuff, you can't really see the colors. I thought it would be difficult to read, but it's really not. This bike has P settings as well. So you saw me hit the up and down button. So if you don't want to go into the app, which we'll show you the app during the ride, hold up, hold down for about 3 seconds. You're going to get into this screen where you can change the brightness. You can change it to percentage instead of voltage. You can change the pass level. So basically, like any other bike, this has P settings. You can go into it if you don't want to use the app. So, all right, this is the Heybike Ranger 3.0 Pro. Let's go ahead and enough of me talking. Let's get one last look at the bike. All right, so hopefully you guys enjoyed that brief little introduction, just a glimpse of the Heybike Ranger 3.0 Pro. And if I say Heybike Ranger S during this video, which I'm sure I will, feel free to virtually slap me across the face. Today's date is Saturday, June 20th, 2026. So I kind of mentioned it a little bit. When I bought this bike, which ordered it on Monday and I got it on Thursday. So I don't know again, like what they're doing to get these bikes out much quicker, but I'm very happy I got it much earlier than what I thought I would. It's a nice surprise to order an e-bike and you have it 3 days later, as opposed to having to wait 7 to 10 days, which is what it typically seems like for me. So first thing I noticed about the Ranger 3.0 Pro when I got onto it, my first ride is it felt very, very familiar. So this is the next model from the Ranger S Heybike that I had purchased in 2025 that I sold to a subscriber. And to this day, that is still my favorite e-bike that I've owned. So 20x4 wise, I should say, that was still my favorite small folding e-bike. And this one rides very similar to it. Now, does it ride identical? No. So a few things I've noticed in my 11 miles is the stretch with my arms. I have very short arms. The best way I can picture it is take a pair. So we got a pair right here, and then we got a pair of T-Rex arms, like toy T-Rex arms right here. If you combine them somewhere in this area, that's basically me. So I don't have very long arms, so I thought it was just me. And it's not terrible, and it is something that I guarantee after I ride more than 10 miles, I won't have any problem with it. But it is a little bit of a reach, which is kind of weird because it's a smaller e-bike. But I saw a few other videos on this, and some of the reviewers that aren't shaped like a pair with T-Rex arms like me, they said the same thing. So, you know, it is a little bit more of a reach than what the Ranger is. So I kind of talked about it a little bit as well with the bike. Another thing that I kind of noticed right away is the paint job. The green, I don't know what they do to get the sparkles, but it just really pops. And just like the Ranger S, the videos I had watched on this, I had not really noticed the paint. I thought it was just like a dull green, but much better in person. It really sparkles when you get in the sun. So if you're looking for a bike with a really nice paint job and a nice color, I really like this green. This bike also comes in a couple other colors. I know there's a red one, maybe a black, I can't remember. The red looked pretty cool, but you know, I've already got the Vic Trip Titan in red, so I figured we would go with the green. So this is a dual suspension e-bike, like I talked about. I do need to probably let a little bit of air out of the rear air shock. I feel like it's probably a little stiff right now. So that's one of the things I really enjoy about having bikes like this with the rear suspension is you are able to go ahead and, well, you can watch a baseball game right here if you want. But you can go into them and you can change them to suit your own needs. I think right now I'm at about 170 PSI. I think it's like 7 on the little gauge I have. So I'll probably drop it down a little bit, see how that goes. Maybe just make the ride a little bit more comfy. So this bike, as I said, has a 750 watt motor, peaks at 1200 watts. I believe the torque is 80 newton meters of torque. So it's definitely not lacking power. Now, it's not the torquiest e-bike I've had, but you know, I don't really need too much torque with the places I ride and the way that I ride. So I think 80 newton meters is just enough for what I need in my e-bike lifestyle. This is a torque sensor e-bike as well. Seems like a pretty decent torque sensor. I haven't noticed any difficulty with it. In fact, it's probably a little bit easier than some of the other torque sensors that I've had. Right now, we're riding it in trail mode, which I believe is equivalent to pedal assist 3. I did show you guys this screen right here. It is an adjustment for me, first off, because I do like the big screens right in the middle, and I 100% have a case of undiagnosed ADHD, to where it would drive me crazy to have something on my left side right there and not have something on my right. So I've tried to put my phone holder a little bit there, put it in the middle. But it's easy to read. It is very small. The font, though, is nice and white. I thought it would be much harder to read than what it is. So I'm just not a fan of having these on the left-hand side. Even though, you know, they've added collar functionality, they got the stuff that you need. So yeah, I don't think anything completely wrong about this. And it was an adjustment, like I said, to have the control pad on the screen and not have a screen and then a separate control pad. But like with everything, it's just takes time to get used to it, and I'm sure it won't be a matter here shortly. And in fact, let's bump it down to, no, I did bump it down. Okay, so I guess trail mode is actually, you know, Got it. No, trail mode is 3. So I just bumped it down to tour mode, which is 2. And I think I'm gonna bump it up to 3. So with this bike, if you're like me and you're not a big fan of having to do things through the little pad right here and try to hit the little buttons at the same time, they do have a really nice app for this bike. And I'll go ahead and show a little bit of it off here. So with the app, you can actually go in and, you know, customize your pedal assist level, which I've already done. So that's probably why right now I think I'm more comfortable riding on trail mode, which is equivalent to 3, just based on the fact that I've got it set to where I think I have it at about 17 to 19 miles an hour, which is my perfect riding speed. And I believe I set 2 or tour mode. I believe I put that to top out at like 15. So, you know, that's a nice speed when I'm riding on the trail, but when I'm riding in town and I just kind of want to go through street by street, I think the third mode, the trail mode, is going to be where it's at. You know, unless I go into the settings and stuff. But yeah, you can change the pedal assist level, pick your color of your bike. You can put it to boost or automatic, which I'll show you guys that right there. Basically, that just kind of is how fast and how prompt the assist comes to you. So if you want something that's much quicker and, you know, I guess a little more torque to start off, I would suggest bumping that up, which I did. It's not crazy though, trust me. It's not anything where you're gonna feel like you can't handle it. So unless you just don't care about speed to get starting off, then you can leave it alone. And I mentioned has the plastic fender, super easy to put together. This front tire, when I put the front tires on, sometimes they give me difficult times where I've got to realign the tire, I've got to realign the brake pad, the calipers, nothing. You can have this thing put together in less than 30 minutes easily. And we'll go down the hill here. Take a right. Brakes are good. I did see a few videos where people were talking about sometimes these brakes were squeaky. Before I went out for my first ride yesterday, I did go ahead and rub them with some alcohol, not Bud Light, not Coors Light, actual rubbing alcohol. So I soaked them down with that, get all the gunk off of it, and I've not heard any squeaks, anything like that. They may need bled in a little bit, but we'll do that the more we ride. So I'm impressed with the brakes. Turn signals are nice. I like the big front headlight. I know what to expect. It's the exact same headlight on my old Ranger. So this is a very familiar, comfortable ride for me. I can definitely say that. The motor is a little loud. Now, is it as loud as the Hynox Trooper X that I sold to basically get this bike? Not even close. And I would say it's probably not much louder than your typical 20x4 e-bike. So if you're worried about like how I was with feeling like a turd riding around and just sounding like gunshots are blaring from your e-bike every 5 seconds, yeah, you're not gonna have to worry about it with this bike. And I believe we just passed the river is definitely up. So we were supposed to get crazy weather. I don't know if you guys can see it. It's up, but it's not so far up that it's made a mess of this. But we were supposed to get some pretty crazy weather. I can't remember if it was Wednesday or Thursday. Thursday, yeah, we were supposed to get crazy weather Thursday. And typically, whenever we're supposed to get crazy weather, I really don't agree with it because it never turns out. Like, when I say crazy weather, I mean like, oh, there's a tornado coming, you buckle up for safety. It never happens, but we had like 8 out of 10% of getting a tornado or really bad weather. We did not get anything other than a little bit of rain. So that was a huge letdown, by the way. So if you watched my last video, which was the night before where I thought I may die, I'm alive and well. and we did not die. So I now have lost all faith in meteorologists, and I think I'm going to become one, because you can just be wrong all the time and it's no big deal. So this bike is definitely a peddler. I'm not a very tall guy. I'm like 5'8", so I think for me, it's about the right height. It does not have a very tall seat post. It's very short. So if you're taller, I would probably say like 6 foot and above. You may feel like the bike's a little short for you, or you may want to get a longer seat post. I did see other people that had reviewed this bike talk about the same thing. I've got the seat up a little bit, not as far up as it would go. I do have the handlebars up quite a bit, but I do that on all these type of bikes. I prefer the hands to be more upright as opposed to feel like I'm leaning down. So I have no problem with that, but I can definitely see other people maybe a little taller than me, maybe want to get a higher seat post. Let's go ahead and test out the horn here with my standard La Cucaracha horn test. Can it play La Cucaracha? All right, 3, 2, 1. All right, I got 90% of La Cucaracha. I can never remember the ending of it. So it can play La Cucaracha. Turn signals work. The screen is a little bit of adjustable, by the way, the LED screen. So you can move it up, move it down a little bit. I've tilted it up just a bit. More when I look straight ahead, I can see it, as opposed to kind of having to look down. So also adjustable. These grips, though, I will say that they do have the outside where if you want to put the bar in mirrors, there is no caps you can pop off. So you will have to cut into them, which is no issue. I've noticed some e-bikes, you can't actually like cut into them with a knife or something. You have to have probably a machine. So just keep that in mind. It is a twist throttle as well. Not my favorite, but I'm a thumb throttle guy. But it does what it's supposed to do. So if you do get this bike and you are going to be like me and you do not like these grips, make sure that when you order replacement grips, you order ones that are for bikes that have a half twist throttle. So I was ordering a set and I about purchased it, and I just kind of forgot that this was a half twist. So just make sure you do that, otherwise you're going to get new grips that you can't use. Let's go ahead and take a drink real quick here. All right, so let's talk more about some of the important stuff with this bike. This bike currently retails at $13.99. It is, as of the recording of this video, it is Father's Day weekend, so I think they may have a $100 discount. I'm not for sure of that. That's something you'd have to check at Heybike's website. But I talked about earlier, super quick delivery. I believe it shipped out of New Jersey. So that would probably explain why I got it so quick. And this is just a really nice functioning e-bike. You know what you're getting with it. It's smooth. It gives power when you need it. And again, it is a little bit of a reach with the hands, but 15 miles in, I'm already starting to lose that feeling like it's got a little bit of a reach. So I talked about the UL certification. This bike also has an IPX rating of, I can't remember, so I will put that somewhere up here for post-editing Adam that can remember these things. After this week, I should have more free time during the week. And I think we're supposed to have some pretty good weather, so hopefully I can get some videos out that I've been planning, like range tests on several of the bikes. I may try to do another video today, later on today, It is my neighboring town's yearly yard sale. So I've made a video there last year, which is right here. I may get to that. I may not. Actually, it's kind of late in the day. We'll see. But if I can't do it today, I think they have it tomorrow as well. So one of these days, today or tomorrow, we'll see if we can go film something out there. There's also a farmer's market in one of the next towns over, about 8 miles away. I thought that would be a cool video. It's just a country ride, and it's a really random because it's just a house inside of a small town with a garden and all kinds of stuff around it. You would think it would be like somewhere out in the country with all this farmland, and nope, it's just a family, and they have a garden out of their house, but they've been able to fit a lot of stuff into it. So we may take the Velotric on that, just because I want to hook up the Velotric bag they gave me that I've not even shown on camera. So maybe we'll do that, and we'll just use that to, if I buy anything, to just put all that in there. So we may do that as well. But lots of video ideas, just need to find the motivation and the time to get them out. And I'm supposed to be getting a bike here probably within the next couple weeks. And I believe the video for that will not be until the end of July. That's if that company ever gets back to me. So, they reach out to you, they want you to do something, you respond back, they reply back, you reply to their reply, and then you don't hear back from them for a week. So I may have to see if it's still a go, but I think it's still a go. We'll just have to find out over the next few weeks. So that's something else to look forward to. But yeah, that is what's going to be happening here in the upcoming videos. Like, oh my God. Well, I was talking, I about ran into the pole. Looks like the trail's closed, so we'll have to go around this way. But I knew what to expect, and I wasn't disappointed. So this will be probably my everyday 20x4 bike when I don't want to ride one of the bigger bikes. I will ride this, especially when I get the rear suspension air shock dialed in to where it feels a little more comfortable. Right now it's a little stiff. Yeah, so this will be it. I'll probably keep this one for a while. I have really, I really want a good 20x4 bike that I can ride. And between this and a Vic Trip, Vic Trip is the bike if I want to go long ways. If I have somewhere 40 miles away I want to ride, I'm going to do that. Which I still have a plan to do that. We'll talk about that in a future video. But with that one, I got to figure out a way to make it there, because the place I want to go to, it's mostly one, not necessarily a highway, but it is a highway. So I can't really be going 20 miles an hour on a highway. So I'll have to see if I can find a back way to get there, and maybe just eliminate as much as the highway as I can. But the Vic Trip will just be for every rides, every now and then, long range rides. It's not going to be something where I'm just going to get out and ride it to ride it, because it's not comfortable. The suspension on that bike is just so terrible that, you're just in pain. I feel like I need to wrap myself in a bubble when I ride that. And again, it's not terrible. It is what it is. I knew what I got. I knew what I was getting when I bought it. I was pretty much paying for the battery, so I'm okay with that. But I think this will definitely be a keeper for a while. But yeah, this is just a nice e-bike. So if you're looking for just a nice high quality torque sensor e-bike, would I like to see this bike maybe a couple $100 cheaper? Yes. For $13.99, do I wish maybe it had a 20 amp hour battery? Yes. Do I wish it spoke dirty to you when you were hitting the 25 mile per hour mark for $13.99? Maybe. I don't know if I'll admit that on camera, but if this was $11.99, I would say this is probably one of okay, go buy it. If you're looking for torque sensor 20x4 comfortable bike, go buy it. Even at $13.99, it's not bad, but there's just so many options in this price range. But I will say, I have never had any issues with the Heybike brand. The Ranger ran perfect until I sold it to a subscriber, by the way. So I think it's going to be a nice marriage. And this is part of the X series. So I believe with this, like I said, they've They've updated a lot of the stuff. It has a 440-pound weight capacity too, which is up 40 pounds from the Ranger S. So if you're pushing like 398 and you hit 402 and you own the Ranger S and you want to be safe, you know, maybe sell it. You know, this bad boy can hold 440 pounds. And you know what? Why not end the video where we started at? So let's pull back into our sports complex here. All right, guys, but thanks for coming out here with me, allowing me to introduce you to, you know, my new bike that feels very similar to an old bike, the Heybike Ranger 3.0 Pro. All right, guys, so just a final look here at the Heybike Ranger 3.0 Pro 20x4 folding e-bike. If you're in the market for a bike like this, I think you can't go wrong with this. It's very reliable. You know what you're going to get. It does exactly what you need, and you can adjust some of the things like the suspension in the front and the air shock in the back to kind of make it your own. So I like it. It's what I'm looking for. We're going to keep it a while, but we're going to end the video here. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, like it, subscribe, you know, do whatever you want to do. We're on the way to 1,000 subs. I think we're about 170-ish, maybe a little less than that away. So every subscriber will help me reach my goal of 1,000. And yeah, that's it, guys. So see you in the next one.